When you hear that sound in the mornings, on a Monday and on a Thursday, you know it is time for your mid-morning program, Final Decision. Thank you so very much for being here with us again today for our program. I am, of course, your host, Mark Maitland from the Garden of Paradise Funeral Home. And with me, as per usual,
is Errol Green from Exodus Funeral Home.
All right. And this morning, we have a very special guest with us who will be joining us online because Mr. Green we'll be talking not only about the funeral industry and the funerals, but we are also going to be discussing education in the funeral industry. And I know that not many persons are aware of the fact that there is a facility here in Jamaica.
Not many people, Mr. Maitland.
The first and only in the Caribbean, to the best of my knowledge.
In the Caribbean, yes,
that offers the funeral service program, a degree program, offers training and qualification for individuals who are so interested. And so, again, another little piece of Jamaica, independent Jamaica, that we want to share with you. And so, listeners, this morning I want to welcome to our program Mrs. Caroline Spence Robinson, who is Head of Workforce Development and the Dean for Continuing Education at the Montego Bay Community College, Western Jamaica University. And she is an experienced educational leader and educational business developer at the tertiary level. Mrs. Spence Robinson, good morning and thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Maitland. Good morning, Mr. Green.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing well.
Wonderful.
And great being here with you guys.
Mrs. Spence Robinson, thank you so very much and welcome to our program, Final Decision. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, you know this is your program heard on the Omega KLAS 89 FM on a Monday and on a Thursday at 11:30 a.m. We have with us this morning our very special guest, Mrs. Caroline Spence Robinson, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the program that is offered there at Montego Bay Community College in relation to having certification for individuals who are so desirous. Mrs. Spence Robinson, let me just first and foremost congratulate the Montego Bay Community College for seeing the vision and running with the vision.
Thank you so much, and I think it's been a labor of love.
It is. And this is something that individuals here in Jamaica and also in the region can benefit from. Tell us a little bit about the program that is offered there at the Montego Bay Community College, Mrs. Spence Robinson.
All right, so we have an associate degree program, an associate degree in funeral service and mortuary science. And this is a 2-year program that persons are able to pursue and get their qualifications in such a special area as mortuary science. And this program started in 2015,
yes.
And we have had successful cohorts of students graduating from this program, going into businesses for themselves, making all kinds of big moves, big money moves, big academic moves. And, we're very proud of this particular accomplishment. It is an accredited program. It is done at the Montego Bay Community College. And we also have what we consider a collaborative effort with Excelsior Community College, where we also accommodate persons who want to participate in this program from the Kingston and surrounding areas.
There is something that I don't want you to slide over, Mrs. Spence Robinson. You said earlier that the program is accredited. Could you say that again so individuals who are listening can know that this is not just a program or a certificate program or a degree program? Please repeat that for our listeners.
The program, the associate degree in funeral service and mortuary science, is accredited by the University Council of Jamaica. And we are monitored based on the accreditation status that we have. We have to do standard annual status reports to the UCJ. We have to do program reviews. So we are constantly ensuring that the quality of our program is maintained. And the UCJ, which is the watchdog, ensures that we do so.
Thank you so very much for spending some time to go through that. You may continue now, Mrs. Spence Robinson.
So this program we have had for, like I said, since 2015, and persons have been graduating from it. the industry is one which is expanding, and there's always a need for trained and licensed professionals and practitioners. And so we are always reaching out and ensuring that we provide this opportunity to persons who are so interested, whether they have been in the industry for a while and are practicing without certification and perhaps even without the relevant training that they need.
So, Mrs. Spence Robinson, let me ask you, what if I have been in the funeral industry as a practitioner for a long time? I don't consider myself somebody who really wants to go back to school to start from scratch. I don't have the 5 CXC subjects, but I don't want to go back to school from scratch to do all of that and then to do a degree program. Is there anything in place to facilitate me?
So here's the beauty of this. Not only can persons decide that they want to come into the program with their CSEC subjects, the 5 CSEC subjects with English and math included, they can also matriculate into the program or qualify to pursue the program by other means. Persons who don't want to do an associate degree program are able to do certificate programs. They can be shorter certificate programs. They can be programs up to a year or courses up to a year that they can pursue. So if they wanted a short certificate, for instance, in embalming, let's say they're interested in embalming, they could do a foundation course in embalming, and then they could go on to an advanced course in embalming. These courses, some of them come with no prerequisites, no academic prerequisites, but some will require that they have industry experience. Some of them are perhaps practitioners in the industry already. They have, so there are these short courses, and we have intermediate length courses. So a 1-year certificate course, for example, for someone who wants to do the funeral service business side of things, where they're wanting to consider like the funeral arranging and directing aspects, the law associated with the funeral service, things like the business of funeral service, planning the different events in the funeral, accounting and ethics, and the principles involved in funeral service, and the customer service that is required in this kind of environment. And then there may be others who would prefer to do the practical aspect, the mortuary aspect, where they're in the morgue, for instance.
Yes.
And so they're more interested in what we call the mortuary technicians course, where they would want to do the embalming and the restorative art and cosmetology, where they're recreating perhaps features on persons who may have demised based on violent circumstances, and so they have to recreate and rebuild some of the missing facets on the deceased.
All right.
And so they would pursue things like the embalming, the restorative art and cosmetology, because cosmetology
and these are short courses.
These are short courses that they can do. And so we have that opportunity for them. And as I said before, some of these courses do not have prerequisites. They do not require academic qualifications to pursue them.
Whoa.
It is your associate degree that now has the academic requirements, where they need their 5 CSEC subjects, including English and math. We have what is called...
Hold on, Mrs. Spence Robinson.
That is very interesting, Mrs. Robinson.
You're giving us a lot to digest here.
Right, a lot.
And Mr. Green, the funny thing about this is that once upon a time, it was thought that unless you go overseas to train,
right,
then you really are not qualified. And here we are getting the information this morning.
And we have several discussions on this already, where people have interest in the course, but because of the requirements,
right,
they are unable to really, the time and the requirements,
right. And so Mrs. Spence Robinson is here to us now outlining the fact that if you don't have the time or the prerequisites to do the degree program, you can actually do short certification courses, which are still valid courses.
Right.
And so Mobay CC really caters to an individual who has interest in pursuing educational background in this funeral industry and mortuary sciences.
I'm very happy for this, Mr. Maitland. Right, that this is right in our backyard, because I remember many years ago it was very difficult.
Yeah.
Very difficult to obtain a degree in mortuary science.
I remember in 2014, I called a college overseas, and it was $8,000 just for tuition. That did not include boarding and books. It was 8,000 per semester.
Per semester.
And there are 3 semesters to the course. And so we really have to applaud the team there at the Montego Bay Community College who really has this in place. Man, Mr. Green, it's like every time I come to this program, I learn something.
Yeah, and I just want to say congratulations to Montego Bay Community College, and you are doing a great job.
We thank you. We thank you. We really appreciate that. And, here what is so good about the program as well is that we have an advisory board which assists us in the direction that we need to go. They advise us on what is happening in the industry, how the industry is evolving, and what the needs are. And so we're able to have our program cater to those needs that are emerging. We have international advisors from, for instance, Humber College, and they, from time to time, give us the kind of advice we need. And we're even working on collaborations where they can participate in some of the short course training, bringing some of the international practices and methodologies to our table and deliver to our students as well.
As a side note, I just want to add so the listeners will understand that Humber College is one of the leading educational institutions in Canada that offers the funeral service degree. And so Mobe CC is partnering with Humber. So you see that it is a degree that thought, time, and the sort of quality that we need has been blended into. And so what is being produced in Jamaica is from the metal.
And we also want to highlight the fact that persons can come into the program through what is called mature entry. I mean, if they do not have the CSEC subject, for whatever reasons, persons left school early, things happen on the day of exams, they didn't get to finish. And, they are able to access the program because if they're working in the industry for 5 years and they're over 25 years old, yes, they're able to access the program. We have what is considered an academy where they're able to get the foundation courses that they would have gotten through CSEC. The equivalent is what they would get. They're able to do things like foundation English, foundation math, foundation science. They're able to generate a portfolio showing off their experience in the industry because that helps them to matriculate into the program. We use that to assess their prior learning, a process called PLA, prior learning assessment. So they're able to access the program as well.
Yes.
And we also have persons who may not fully meet all the requirements, that 5 CSEC subject requirement that is there, but they may be short one subject. They're able to get into the program as well under what is considered provisional acceptance, and they're given the time to complete that additional requirement that they're missing.
Wow, beautiful.
Wonderful.
So it therefore means that the avenues have been created for anyone who has an interest to come through the doors, to access.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. What I've seen is an open door.
Open doors.
Once you have an interest, once you're in the industry, because learning is good. That's the key, you know what I mean? And so once you have an interest, there's an open door for you.
Open door.
To go and further your knowledge.
And Mobe CC through workforce development will help to ensure that you are matriculated into the program through the avenues by which you would qualify. So if it is that you don't have the subjects as was outlined earlier by Mrs. Spence Robinson, mature entry, and I'm gonna ask her to talk a little bit more on the mature entry, especially the portfolio aspect of things, because I know that there are individuals who are listening now, and individuals have asked in the past, how can I do this program, because I run my business, I have to be present in my business, I don't have the time to spend in school full time. Right. How can I juggle my business while going to school? Does the college have something in place for that? So, Mrs. Spence Robinson, I want you to help me to help to have those who have this question understand how they can get access to this program.
All right. So when we consider mature entry, we talk about a portfolio. Now the portfolio really highlights what you have done in your work. So if you have been in the industry and let's say you came in and you kind of started, you didn't have qualifications, standard qualifications, but you kind of like the environment and you were around and the director says to you, John, you're interested in this. Would you like to, come and see what we do and probably start with us. We could make you perhaps work in the morgue as a morgue attendant or something, help us with the bodies, move the bodies from here to there, tag them and so on. And John now wants to do that.
Right.
We have options. We have opportunities for John because he could now enroll in a certificate program, probably to become a morgue attendant, something to, train him so he can understand what that is about, what that role is about, so he can be certified in that area. Someone may want to be a funeral attendant or funeral assistant. They're able to do that. Someone may be interested in becoming an embalmer, so they're able to do that. Now, when we have persons who do not have standard academic qualifications, and they're going to be assessed using what is called a portfolio, that portfolio is really documentary proof of what they have done. And so they're going to, if they got any awards, maybe a community award, if they were working in the office and they got
employee of the month, etc.
And got employee of the month, they put that there. If they were working, if they got any other kind of, if they went to workshops and stuff like that, they would be able to put that in as well.
So whatever you can find as evidence of your participation and or training, be it formal or informal, that will form a part of your portfolio.
It becomes a part of your portfolio, and you're assessed using that. So it contributes to what it is. You're indicating that you would have done. All right. So we do have those options available. And when you talk about time and the time that we have or don't have, here's the beauty about the delivery. We have blended delivery. This is what we consider blended delivery, where we're able to deliver to working students using an online platform. What that allows is for persons to be in their workspace or be in their homes, and they can utilize that private time and private space, so to speak, to access classes. And these classes are delivered real time. So that's live. And if they're not able to access it live, the recordings are available. And even if they access it live, they can go back to the recordings and replay and, they replay and reinforce what it is that was delivered.
So there really is no gray area then for anyone to say they are unable to access the material and access education.
And what we also do now for the practicals and the hands-on for their labs. Now, labs for funeral service can be lengthy because it's so involved, right?
Are you still with
for
us,
their labs.
Uh-huh.
They know this well in advance because the scheduling is done well in advance, and they know this, so they're able to structure their times so they can get the time off or the day off, the day release, in order to attend those labs.
Let us talk about
that happens sometimes once per week.
Let us talk about the practicality of it. For labs, where do students do labs? Do they come into the campus at Mobi? Do you is it that you prepare a place or a space there for them to come and practice? Talk to us about the labs. Where do the labs happen?
All right. So this is where we have an excellent collaboration with the industry players and practitioners. So we have our partners. I don't know if I should be naming anyone here.
No, don't name anyone here.
we have our partners who are industry partners. They have their funeral establishments, and we have MOUs with them for having our students get the practical, real, live, hands-on exposure right throughout COVID, right throughout any kind of dire situation. They're still able to go in and get the best experience.
Hold on, Mrs. Spencer.
In these settings.
You're saying to me that for this program, the students actually go into actual physical morgue spaces, funeral homes to do the practical sessions?
Yes, they do. They go in and they have their sessions. The college actually has the MOUs with different establishments in Kingston and in this end of the island. And, the students are able to be there, see the live settings. They work on actual bodies.
Actual human
under
remains.
supervision, of course.
Yes.
And they're getting the best possible experience from those practitioners who themselves are well trained and are so involved and have been so gracious in ensuring that they themselves are protecting their industry in trying to make sure that the those who are coming out are getting the best exposure.
Whoa. This is valuable information that we could not pay for. Let me just take the time to say to anyone who is listening, you may be interested or you may know of someone who is interested in the field of mortuary sciences. Somebody who wants to study, who wants to be educated, who wants to be certified. Here today, we are giving you the information as we do on a weekly basis.
Right.
As it pertains to things that are relevant to the funeral industry. We are saying to you, and we have factual evidence. We have somebody who is working in the system to help educate those who are so desirous to say to you that there is a place in Jamaica
that offer this course,
that offers this certification that you need.
And it is accredited.
Mr. Green, there's something that everybody wants to know in everything, money part.
Right.
So Mrs. Spence Robinson, could you actually tell us how payments are done, whether per semester, per year, how many semesters are in the year, and basically a ballpark figure of what the semester, the fees for the year would sound like?
Okay. The program, the associate degree program, is offered on a 3-semester basis part-time. So it means, therefore, that persons who are working are able to access the program in the evenings and the labs when they're scheduled for the one-day lab situation. Now, for persons who work at night and are available in the daytime, we will be delivering full-time program, funeral service and mortuary science at the college come September. So it means if someone is working at night, has a night job, they can go to school in the daytime.
Right. Or if you're interested in doing the program full time. Are you still with us, Mrs. Spence Robinson? All right. So until we get back, Mrs. Spence Robinson, what she was actually saying is that there is a way now for those who are so interested in doing the program full time, because prior to September it was offered as a part-time program. So you for those who work in the day and attend classes in the evening. But coming September, there's a full-time program, so you can actually go to school full-time for if you wish. And in addition to being there full-time, the part-time program is still available for those who want to work and study. But all in all, Mr. Green, the beautiful news in this is that there is somewhere locally,
yes,
where individuals can become qualified.
One question I wanted to ask her, Mr. Maitland, knowing that this is the first of its kind in the Caribbean. Yeah, if there's any other Caribbean country that is, if we have an international student participating in this program.
I hope we get her back. I hope our producer gets her back soon before our time elapses.
Yeah.
So she can at least answer these two questions, especially the part in relation to the fees. Now, young persons, this is a career path that I realize that a lot of young persons have become interested in.
Yeah, so if you are out there and you are interested in becoming a mortician,
yes,
right? You don't have to be worrying how to go about it and, try to get into a funeral home to learn the trade, right? There is a school that offer a certificate course in the mortuary side. She's back online.
All right, we have her back online. Mrs. Spence Robinson.
Yes.
Yes.
I am back.
Yes. So you're at the stage that you're talking about the full-time course that will start in September.
Right. So if someone is working at night, they can now access the program in the daytime. So they can become a day schooler, so to speak.
Right.
All right. So that's an option for them. It's a 3-semester arrangement that we use, and there's a semester from September to December, a second semester January to May, and a summer semester which is shorter, May to August. And persons are allowed to make their payments in parts, so you can pay per semester, or you can have another flexible arrangement, pre-arrangement, which is documented like a contract, a payment arrangement, kind of like a bank would do it, and students are expected to adhere to that. So we have those flexible arrangements in place for payment. And in the full-time option, they have 2 semesters, one from September to December and the second one from January to May. Of course, the course load is heavier
yes.
in the full-time program.
So with the few minutes that we have before time goes, can you please give us an idea, ballpark figure, so individuals can understand what we're looking at?
Short certificate course is for payment in parts.
Mrs. Spence Robinson? All right, we've lost her again, and we really wanted to hear, get an idea of what the fees would be like. So listeners, this is your mid-morning program, Final Decision. We have been talking to Mrs. Curlin Spence Robinson, who is the workforce development coordinator there at the Montego Bay Community College, and we have been talking about the funeral service program. She's the head of workforce development, I stand corrected, and the dean of continuing education at the Montego Bay Community College, and we're talking about the funeral service and mortuary science associate degree program that is offered at the Montego Bay Community College for those who are so interested. Mr. Green, we made a commitment to our listeners from the get-go. Right. We will provide them with pertinent information. We'll have the questions that they ask answered for them.
Right.
And so far, we have been learning from this program.
Right. And, we share the same vision as the Montego Bay Community College. We are trying to uplift the nation where funeral services is concerned.
Right.
And ensure that the necessary information go out there and so people can benefit in more than one ways.
And for people to start looking at this industry as the professional industry that it really is.
That it is. So we are encouraging young people who have an interest in becoming a funeral director, are just, if they are fascinated by the whole mortuary aspect of things, they can, contact the Montego Bay Community College. And we have lost her just now, but we just, you if you are interested, you can feel free to call us.
Yes,
call us. As I said, no, we're not just here to bury your loved one,
Yeah, we're here to provide the information.
We're here to provide the information for the needs. Right.
So in the last couple of seconds that we have, you can access the Montego Bay, the information from www.montegobaycommunitycollege.com, or you can visit the college at Alice Eldermeyer Drive, around there in Montego Bay. Just pass Pier 1 and go as if you're going to Fairview, and you will see the Montego Bay Community College sign on the left-hand side, and they will be happy to provide you with the information. However, if you are busy working and you just want to talk to somebody, you can give me a call, and I'll provide you with the information for either Mrs. Curlin Spence Robinson or somebody that you can reach at the Montego Bay Community College. This has been your program, Final Decision.
It will get better.
Because it came to pass. Catch you again on Thursday. And on Thursday, we'll be having a repeat program of our Independence Day program for those who have missed it. So on Thursday, definitely a repeat program. See you next time, friends. Have a good day. Your nights will turn to day. Just remember, it will get better.